Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of LANCESCURV. I just wanted to show you a clip of what I ran across today at one of the smaller malls here in Accra. It's not tiny, just a smaller mall compared to the other ones. And I go there oftentimes because I just like going around. Like the old guy of Poltergeist said, I love getting around. I like getting around. You know that old dude, the old white guy on Poltergeist 2. And the Lord is in his holy temple. Earthly thoughts be silent now. Remember him? And they wouldn't let him in. And he was like at the door, let me in. Well, I saw a man today, as you can see, who looked to be in his 80s. And I'm being nice. I didn't want to be rude and put my camera in their face, but I walked right past them before I realized this is me actually walking back. And I just didn't want them to turn around and look at my face and feel as though they're being, as you know, they'll call mall security, and he's harassing us, and they already feel funny. But this is something that we need to talk about, and this is something that is really prevalent in Africa. I'm in Ghana, so when I say Ghanaian, I really mean African, of course, but I can't tell you proportions, I can't tell you numbers, I can't tell you statistics that way, because nobody's going to give the right statistics anyway. Diane, welcome on in, my dear sister, rightly so. Yes, I'm glad you all are here. People will pile up, and if they're not here, they'll see this afterward. I'm going to let this run a little bit before I put the other banner up, but I'm going to, as always, jot down a few notes and write a few things down, because we're going to go and we're going to take it from several angles, okay, because I have many thoughts on this, and there's many ways of looking at this, but I want to say one thing. This is not to bash Black women. NFN Shaka, welcome on in. We're truly international tonight. But this is not to bash Black women, because we do have different cultures within our race, different mindsets, and I'm truly understanding of the many aspects. But I'm going to share a few thoughts that I jotted down after I saw this and I went to grab a little lunch at the time. This was earlier today. This is just a few hours ago, okay? But let's not pretend this isn't happening. Let's not act like we don't see it. I saw it again today. An old white man bent over, barely able to walk, with a young, stunning Ghanaian woman on his arm. She wasn't with him because of love, obviously. She wasn't looking at him like he was her king. She was in it, like many of the cases that I see and didn't capture on camera, for survival, for escape, for access. And he knew exactly what he was doing. These kinds of relationships aren't built on love. They're built on desperation, power imbalance, and a twisted type of neo-colonial transaction that plays out every day across Ghana and the continent. I was born in New York City in April of 1963. I've seen racial dynamics in America. I've seen white power structures and Black people running after the dream they'll never be allowed to own. But when I moved to Ghana in 2020, oh, how time flies, I saw something that disturbed me on a deeper level. A sickness that many don't want to speak about because they're too afraid of the truth, too afraid to face what colonization, religion, media, and poverty have done to the mindset of African people, especially our women. Now, before you come at me sideways, let's be clear. This isn't about shaming sisters. This isn't about controlling who you choose. This is about unearthing the why. Why does it seem so many of our sisters would rather be the side piece of a dying old white man than build with their own black brothers? Why do they tolerate disrespect and exploitation from someone who wouldn't even look at them twice if they had money back home? Why are they dressing up for poverty level situations, perverts, and ignoring good, strong black men who walk among them every single day? I'm talking about truth today. I'm talking about that sickness in the mind that makes whiteness seem like salvation. I'm talking about the trap that social media lays, making it seem like a white man is a passport, a house in London, and a future. And you know what? Some of these women believe it's a better deal to be used than to build. And that's the tragedy we need to confront. Let's not pretend the brothers don't play this game too, because they do. And I see it with my own eyes. Ghanaian men chasing after white women like they're the golden prize. And oh, you should see what some of these white women look like. Straight up cottage cheese. Talking down on their own women, believing they've made it when they land an old white woman from Europe who throws a few coins their way. This sickness runs deep, and it didn't start with us, but it sure as hell continuing with us. Let's dig into the meat of it. Let's talk about colonization, not just the physical theft of land and resources, but the theft of mind, of identity, of self-worth. When the British left, they didn't just leave behind railroads and flags. They left behind a system that taught us here in the motherland that everything white is better. And yes, it's in America too, but I'm speaking about Mother Africa. Better education, better love, better opportunity, better future. This didn't fade with independence. It got reinforced through religion, through school, through everything we saw on television. That was white was better. And you're looking at it right now. Many Ghanaian women grow up being taught that their blackness is a limitation, that their beauty only has value when it's validated by a white man. That suffering with a black man is foolish, but being used by a white one is strategic. And in poverty, when your options feel few and your dreams seem far, a wrinkled white man waving a UK passport can feel like salvation. The money doesn't even have to be big. Just the illusion of something more is enough. But what are we selling for that more? We're selling dignity. We're selling potential. We're giving away the womb that will raise the next generation, hoping that mixed race babies in London addresses will save us. Meanwhile, Ghanaian men are being bypassed, emasculated, and told indirectly that they're not enough. And instead of rising up to reclaim respect, too many are out here doing the same damn thing, chasing whiteness, abandoning their women, worshiping the colonizer with their choices. There are entire dating apps here in Africa catering to this dynamic. Older white men specifically targeting young African women, Lebanese men, Europeans. They don't have to be rich, just richer than you as an African. And they use that to buy the bodies of women who should be building empires with their own men. It's soft-core trafficking. But because there's a dinner involved and a ring sometimes, people act like it's love. It's not love. It's survival. It's manipulation. It's desperation, as you can see, in a dress. What makes it worse is that the same women who wouldn't look at a strong, grounded black man twice if he doesn't flash money are the same ones running to take abuse and silence from men who offer crumbs. And the black man, he starts thinking something's wrong with him. He begins to believe that he isn't good enough unless he mimics whiteness, unless he gets foreign validation. The cycle continues. Broken homes, confused children, colonized minds. But let's be real. Many of our sisters are not choosing these old white men because of love. They're choosing them because they've been brainwashed into believing that anything black, especially a black man, is a risk, a weight, a burden. They think the struggle will never end with a Ghanaian or African man from another country. But who said struggle is the only thing we can offer? Who told you we're all broke? Who told you we all have vision? Some Ghanaian men may lack drive. Some are immature. Some are chasing white women just like you're chasing white men. But many of us are here, focused, grounded, spiritual, ambitious, and intelligent, looking to build families and legacies, but we're invisible to you. You want the illusion of security more than the reality of shared growth. And some of you are willing to give everything to men who see you as nothing more than a third-party thrill. And like I like to say, a glorious friction provider. And when the friction's done and the fluids are ejaculated and it's time for him to go home, he's not thinking about you. Religion plays a role too, let's not lie. That worship of the white Jesus, that psychological placement of whiteness as holy, pure, clean. For some, that image slips into relationships. It creates a hierarchy in your heart where your own people are second class, even to you. Social media finishes the job. The influencer lifestyle, the travel videos, the dream of being chosen by someone outside. Not for who you are, but for what you can give them on the cheap. And you know exactly what that is. Let me just say one thing. Look at this video. Is she really special to him? Look how he's dressed, and look how she's dressed. And look what she did to her hair, which looks like a wig. But look how he's dressed, and look how she's dressed. She got herself all dolled up, and he looked like he just came from working in the yard. And could you imagine how he smells? Could you imagine what he looks like? Everything stripped down. Not that that's my thought, but her beautiful black body given up to him. And what is he doing for her? Just a little bit of money that will leave her broke next week. But let me say this. The white man's ice is not colder. It's just that some of you have been left in the heat too long, and you're running toward anything that feels like relief, even if it burns you in the end. And when you wake up, you'll see that many of these so-called saviors were predators, not partners. So here we are, a Ghana that looks modern on the outside, but is still struggling with the chains in the mind. Sisters walking proudly with men who need help to walk, while ignoring brothers with strength in their back and love in their heart. Brothers chasing old white ladies like their job applications. And we're wondering why we're not building as a people. It's not just poverty. It's not just economics. It's deeper. It's psychological. It's spiritual. It's historical. We're still fighting the effects of slavery, colonization, and the theft of our worth. We're still running from each other, trying to find value in the arms of strangers, but strangers don't save us. Strangers use us. And when they're done, we're left holding the shame, the confusion, and the generational scars. To my sisters, you're worth more than this. Look at this. You're worth more than this. You are the future of this nation. You're the future of our people. You're the mothers of Africa's tomorrow. Stop selling yourself cheap. Stop confusing exploitation for opportunity. Love who you want, yes, but make sure it's love, not business, not brainwashing, not desperation in disguise. To my brothers, stop giving up on your women. Stop chasing foreign validation. Get yourself together. Grow, build, protect, lead. Our women need to see that we are not the struggle. We are the solution, but we have to act like it. The sickness is in the mind, but so is the cure. And it starts when we stop lying to ourselves, when we start calling it for what it is, when we stop looking at whiteness as salvation and start looking at each other as the foundation. Let the truth hurt, because only then can the healing begin. Yes, indeed. But let me just say something else. Too many of us as Black men, of course, we are damaged, many of us. We're not what we're supposed to be. When you can have who they call President Trump get up in front of Black leaders and speak to one of them and say, oh, to the president of Liberia, you speak good English. Oh, where did you learn to speak English like that? I would have had a slick answer for him. I don't know what I would have said, but he would have shut the hell up. And they took it. Because too many of us as Black men are not doing what we need to be doing. I'm not bashing Black men now for the sake of the sisters loving on me to say he understands, but we both have to take responsibility and accountability for it. And again, this is not to bash brothers or to bash sisters, because there are many Black brothers and sisters all over the world doing wonderful things. But there are too many of us who don't understand that we are in a war, but you don't see it. The war is white supremacy, and they're making sure that they're going to survive, and they're going to do whatever it takes to survive. But it's not a war of bombs yet. But they're doing everything they can to wipe us out. And it's a damn shame that an old white man can come to a Black country and scoop up the sisters through an act. But it's nothing more than lust here. See, they'll hate the men unless they're homosexual. This video is not going to last too long, probably, so download it as soon as it's over. But they hate the brothers. They don't want to see us with our own woman. When they see us with our arm around our own sister, they get jealous because they know our sisters are the best on the planet. Not just because of the physical adornments that they have, that's the dessert. But as a Black man, you have to earn the dessert, provide the meal for everybody, and eat the meal before the dessert. Your sister has no problem giving you the dessert. When you provide the meal, protect her, reassure her, bring her wisdom, and make her feel settled and loved. And the fact of the matter is, this white man, this old white trick, is going through the motions that would make any woman feel good if it was something authentic. Because a lot of brothers are not even going to put their arm around their woman and walk down the street. And he's doing it, and she knows deep down that it's not real, but in a sense, it must feel good. The pseudo affection. If you don't understand what I mean, and I mentioned it the other night, when Mike Tyson, it had to be in the early 90s or late 80s, before he went to prison. In an interview, he mentioned that his world was crashing out and he didn't know who was who. So he was in the bed after the fight in one of these large hotel suites. With about 4 women at his disposal. And he whispered to one, "Lie to me and tell me that you love me." You probably heard me say this the other night. I'm not saying this sister here wants this man to love her. It's an escape. It's survival. But going through the motions of that for a moment, it must feel good to her. Because the thing is, can we blame the sister? I'm not condoning it. I'm going to change gears and speak from her mindset, right? The bottom line, and I'm going to read the comments in a little while. I'm going to put the line open if you want to come on in and speak. I'm not going to spread lies about Ghana and Africa. The majority of people here do not live in shacks. You have the propaganda of the American media, UK media, that says there's animals running around, and we all live in shacks or in trees, and with bones in our noses, and all of that stuff. That's not true. But there is poverty here like anywhere else. And it can be pretty bad. Also, on the outside of this mall, look at the parking lot, which you don't see. I see cars that I never saw before. I saw the brands, but top-notch people walking around, dropping money, whatever. Not to be materialistic, but there's some people who are suffering. And as I go through many of the villages here, around where I live, there are little pockets of areas where the people don't have much. Now we have social media come in. And social media shows you the good life in London and New York City, Hollywood, and all the illusions. They don't show you the overtime. They don't show you the drugs that people take to stay up to do the overtime and how they're barely making ends meet. The crime, the homelessness, they don't show you that, right? So we have a sister who doesn't know any better and thinks that where this white man comes from is heaven. So can you blame her? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not going against the words that I just shared. But let's have a different perspective, especially with the brainwashing that's going on. And so this is why we got to break down so many barriers. Just because you have a few celebrities that get out there and they've made it, you have awards and they've made it, as the people we've made it, and you see the celebrities who are only puppets of deception. This woman here, I'm not saying I know her. I didn't want to disrespect and put the camera in the face. I wish I had the camera going as they were walking toward me, and maybe I should have made this clip a little longer. Maybe I would have did a pseudo conversation and fooled them and say I'm doing interviews with couples. If you saw if you saw his face, Nosferatu the vampire is a handsome man compared to this dude. I don't know whether he was holding on to her because of affection or because he couldn't stand up all the way. But look how he's dressed, hiding behind the hat. Who knows? Maybe his old wife back in London might see him and see what he's doing. I'm not here for that. I'm here to talk to you, but I wanted to show you what I saw. You see what I mean? Let me pop a few of these comments. Okay, there's one here from Rich Johnson. Okay, Lance, I'm still in, and this is from Facebook, so you wouldn't see it until I put it up on the screen. Lance, I'm still in Florida. Recently started dating a Kenyan. Life has been so great since. She treats me like a king. There is honor and respect in a manner I've never experienced before. Yes, you will get that. And I know, brother, you're going to treat her right, and she's going to treat you right. But see, this thing is not publicized enough. You see? They push other things and they split us up. And they have people coming on relationship panels and they go against each other. And we have countless millions of consumers that internalize this. And as soon as they go through a bad relationship with a black man, oh, it's all black men. As soon as you go through a bad relationship with a black woman, oh, it's all black women. But I'm happy for you, brother. It can happen and it can work. We have to see ourselves as a global people. And they're trying to keep Africa away from America, away from the West, as far as we are concerned. Yes, there are cultural differences. And this is what makes me seem to want to go further in talking to people directly to smash some of the falsehoods. See? Look at that. Exactly, Giant Game. The control display on the hand on the shoulder, with the hand on the shoulder. Like a leash. You're my pet. We're walking out here, but I'm paying for the privilege to control you. Because as soon as we get back up in that hotel room, them clothes are coming off, and you're going to do what I want you to do. You're going to do some things that are so disgusting, but you're going to do it anyway because I got that paper. And I'm going to have you do some things to me that are so nasty, I won't have to use as much toilet paper when I go to the bathroom. See, these men are predators. They need to be put on blast. I'm not even going to knock the system. Maybe she's taking what she's getting from him to bring home to a family if they're hungry. See, the economy here is not good for many of the people who live here. The economy took a uptick greatly within the last couple of weeks. And Ghana now has one of the most powerful economies behind the things that they're finding. They found this mineral, I forgot what the name of it is. I think it starts with a T. And that is going to bring in trillions of dollars into the economy because what they found is necessary and not in abundance all over the world. So it's changing, but they want to break it down. The enemy wants to be here, not just to be here to benefit economically, of course that, but he wants to conquer the women. That twisted lust that they have is not about honor and respect. And just like Giant Gaines said, and hand in the shoulders control. You better not go nowhere. Oh, I wish, and I'm gonna do this one day. The opportunity is gonna present itself, and I know the hot spots to go to. I'm gonna have somebody with me. I'm gonna have them hold the camera up at a distance. I'll have the mic, the wireless mic, so you can. I'm telling you ahead of time. I'm gonna walk up to them like this and just compliment her on what a beautiful lady she is. And I'm gonna talk to her as though I'm interested in her, and let's see how the white man acts. You see what I mean? I'm paying for her. How dare? See, because they don't want to see the connection. I mean, if she went to the woman's restroom, he's going to stand by the door because he doesn't want her to walk around by herself. Because another brother who's more attractive, more muscular, stronger, probably hung down to his knee, might snatch her away from me. This is my jungle bunny. His fetishes in his mind, he might be saying the stuff out in the open because they don't like their own women. They don't got no color. They don't have no shape. And this videotape doesn't do her any justice. She was shapely as can be. I wasn't lusting after the woman, but I'm evaluating. And look how stiff she is. She's looking like, oh my God, I hope nobody from where I live sees me with this white man. I hope they don't see it. She looks like she's ready to snatch the arm off and walk in the other direction. That's what it is. And what are they doing? What are they really looking at? He going through the motions. He's going to buy her a couple things. He's going to tuck a little money in her purse. And after that, it's all over. But I have to also say that there's sisters out here who look for this. And I'm going to tell you some personal stories too. Yes, I am. It wasn't but maybe 3 months that I had been here. I landed here for good, and I've been here ever since September 16th, 2020. September 16th is when I landed. And when this September 16th comes, it'll be 5 years that I have been here without ever leaving. Right? And I'm a friendly person. When I'm busy, I move around, I get around here and there. But the people that I've gotten to know closer and just in passing, there was a young lady on a van one day that was falling asleep, and she had about 4 or 5 shopping bags. And she was walking in my direction when I lived down in the city in the apartment. And she was ahead of me because I had stopped to speak to some of the brothers that I know that ride the motorcycles to help people get home quicker. And so when I caught up with her, I said, ma'am, I said, excuse me, please, can I help you with your bags? I wasn't trying to come on to the lady. I wasn't trying to hit on her. I just wanted to help her because she was nodding, falling all over me, head hitting my shoulder, falling out, drooling. So she said, oh, you don't have to. I said, no, I insist if it's okay with you. Okay, thank you. So I took all the bags. To me, they were light, but to her, they were heavy. So it ended up with she walked a whole length of this long road. I used to hate that road because when it was raining, I had to go out. I had to go down that road and get wet if I didn't have an umbrella. So we got about a block away from where I lived at the time. And so I said, you live down that block? She said, yes. I said, well, listen, I'll take you to your door, to your gate. I'm not trying to get in the business. We had small talk. We got to know each other over time in passing. Mr. Scurv got to know her in passing. We never hung out. But every time we would go up the long road, we might see her there or waiting for the van to go down. And one time she saw me and I was by myself. She was by herself. And she said, and we were walking down the same road. She says, well, you know, I'm a teacher, but I come from a different region of Ghana. And I'm a teacher, I'm single, but I would love to go to America. And I said, well, you know, one day you will, if you really want to. So this is a long road, and she asked me to tell her about America. And I gave it to her, pro and con. She asked me questions, and I gave it to her in an authentic way. I don't know the whole country, but I know the East Coast, and I damn sure know New York City. And this is one of the places that many hope to go to because still it's looked at as the epitome, right? So we slowed down walking. Wasn't no romantic thing going on, but we were just chilling and heading on in. I knew where she lived and she knew around the corner where I lived. And then she said, Lance, this is between me and you. I'd like to know. Well, I'm interested in having a child. I said, well, are you in a relationship? Do you have somebody that you plan on having a child with? She said, no, not really, but I'd like to know if possibly you can give me a baby. And no one has to know that you're the father. Although I know that you're a good man and you'll take care of our child. I said, excuse me, you know that I'm married and I'm not interested right as far as having any more children. And she said, well, don't rule it out. Think about it. Just don't say no yet. But if I do, and she had a plan. If we do have a child, I want you to take me to America. Her plan, and she didn't say it, was to get pregnant, go on about 7, 8 months, and fly to New York, fly to America, and I'm American. And she dropped the baby there. She didn't say that, but I knew that's what it was. I had 2 other offers from women who I was an acquaintance to, because I'm friendly. I'm friendly with the brothers. I'm friendly with the sisters. I'm respectable with them. But it made me realize how I'm viewed. Since I'm from America, many who are here, we're talking truth now, they think I'm loaded with money. They think I'm rich. They think I got it made. But that's not the case. We play around with some of these settings here. I don't want to hide for the whole show, but I still want to show the actual video. I'm sweating, I'm tired. I didn't sleep last night. Not at all, not one wink. I felt like last night I couldn't get to sleep at all. Let me find it. I want this to continuously roll. There you go. You can still see me. I'm here. This is not a fake video. But yeah, look at that. Window shopping, no bags in hand. Renee Green, you don't miss a lick. And she looks very disinterested. Exactly. She's like, let's get this over. I know what you want to do with your little pecker, your little Nabisco. That's the way of saying cracker without saying it. People don't get insulted. We don't call Nabiscos on this channel, right? The worst mess. This is broke down. Exactly. You know what he gonna get, you know? All of me is like, DF. You know what that means? You know what I mean? But Rich, I'm happy for you, brother. I'm so happy for you. But even many are, not all, but many just don't realize. Like I'm not saying all who are here. I know I'm gonna catch flack in the street for people who follow the show. I'm just being honest. I was on the van the other day coming home, and the money that I had given the mate, because you have the driver, he doesn't handle money. He's trying to hustle and get around. The mate sits by the door. He collects the money. And when somebody wants to get off, he reaches his hand out of the door, boom, boom, hits the side of the van, and the driver knows to get off at the next stop, and he collects the money. But this particular driver, I was sitting next to, and I gave them the 15 CDs, but for me wanting to come down from up top, it was an extra 5. I didn't realize that. So he excuse me, white man. And I'm like, who the hell he's talking to? I kind of look over my shoulder. I said, I didn't see nobody white get on this van. White man, it is more money. I said, you talking to me? But this happened to me before, so I'm realizing he's calling me a white man. I'm like, I felt like, don't call me no white man. I don't take any praise in that, because it's half my complexion, which I'm not a white man. You know I'm not a white man, but the range of some of the people is very limited. You see what I mean? And compared, and because I'm from the West, I speak a little different. And he's the white man. And if I'm the white man, I have lots of money. I will one day. I manage what I have well. Mrs. Scurv and I still got stuff to do. We're not rich. But because we built this home, and in the process of building this home, and they see it, say, oh, they got money, right? And that's the perception. And so this is why you have many women who are born and raised here, just in passing. They'll kiki with me a little more. They'll give me the eye when nobody's looking, or try to lure me into talking to them because They're showing me a sexy side of themselves as an attractant, not because they're interested in me, right? But because I can probably grant them privilege. So me at my age, I don't take that to my head. And I mean, this goes along all age groups. And see, we got old white men like that. I don't know from Jack, but there are a lot who walk in the villages and walk in the backwoods. And I don't mean to make it seem like it's just jungle. It's the city, but you've seen around here, and I've done live streams off the balconies. This is mountainous. You got white men, la 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 la, walking around, and you got brainwashed 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15, 14, 13-year-olds. I've never seen somebody like him doing something they shouldn't do, but you see them wanting to buy things for them. You see them walking along the road. You know good and damn well this man don't live up in this part or some other place. What are you doing up here? And even though, and this is one thing I witnessed because I was nosy on this one. I said, oh, hell no. You know they say it? Oh, hell no. This one white man was walking, and it was a young lady who was definitely school age, but had the developed body of a woman, but she was a child. And he's walking her home, and there were brothers and sisters and probably neighborhood kids around. And the mother was in the front door. And evidently, the white man knew her. And he had some bag of candy or some sweets in there, and everybody's jumping around and they're eating it and they're smiling. So he says, we'll be back. So he's going with the young girl. She had a killer body, and that's what it was all about. He was going to try to get him some off this young girl in a way that if he was in America, I'm not saying this goes on here like that, but it does. And I'm going to say it this way. I'm not going to accuse every mother, but this is what a lot of the mothers do. Because I've spoken to Ghanaian women about this. I'm going to try my best to get a lot of interviews. A lot of them don't want to show their face. I understand it. But a lot of the mothers, they do just this. They turn their head. They turn their head. And the young girl knows what's expected of her. But when she comes back, she's going to come back with money. This is what happens. There's a lot of things. And again, I'm not demonizing the country. I love it. I love the culture. But just like things go on in America, there's certain things that go on here. And again, I say, our men are not doing enough. Because she shouldn't be hungry enough or needy enough that she would have to just go on out. And she's not broadcasting this. Just like, it was said, Giant Gaines said she looks very disinterested. She's not happy. That's the man of her dreams. She's trying to get that money and get out of there. But the sickening part is what she has to do, and it's not just money. Just like I said earlier, it's the brainwashing. It's the feeling that white is superior. It's the feeling that you have no hope unless you're attached to something like that. And that's how it goes. Ain't that something? And I didn't plan to run this clip over and over, but you know what? I'm glad I did. And I'll be getting more stuff. It's a good idea. People do it. I've never done it like that. But I saw some situations in another mall where this dude here looked like the heavyweight champ of the world. And the woman was even more voluptuous. And everybody was looking. And a lot of the Ghanaian men, they know what's going on. Because before I turned around to get this clip, there was a guy who works in a store at the end of coming back this way where you can't see. He was just looking at her. And I smirked at him after I looked at them. And he didn't even want to smile. Like, smile, we weren't smiling like it was a good thing. I said, bro, I said, you see this? And he put his head down. He said, yes, I see it. I said, no, I got to get a clip of this. I got to show this. He didn't know what I do online or whatever. I said, I got to show some people this thing here. They're walking toward the Aldo and see that there. And once I passed him, there was no need because I was going to spin around. I didn't want to get confrontational because he's going to use his whiteness on them security guards. Oh, they took videotape of me. You know, because she doesn't want to be seen. And he's trying to impress her. He's not going to spend all that money on her. He's going to try to scat with the minimum. And if he met her on an app, you best believe he got 4 or 5 other choices. He's with her today. Maybe his wife is back in, I'm just making it up. I don't know where he's from. Let's just say London. And he got 4 or 5 other ones lined up. So he's going to try to save his money and spread it all through. But he knows he's going to get lucky with all of them. And that'll be his experience. And then he'll go back home with his other racist friends and talk so bad about black people while doing the things he wants to do, that he always wanted to do, that he can't get at home and never could get in his life. So he has to trick it off and be a simp and pay for it. But she's not there for that like that. She knows what she has to do, but her mind was already messed up long before, as many of us are as black people, on how we see white folks. And it's still alive in 2025 to this day. But folks would look and just not think, oh, it's just an interracial couple and he's a little older than her. And if I really want to, look, when I go, there's a certain area named Osu. I'll be like this with the camera because, there go one, there go one. Yep. And some of the women, they have enough sense to, when you see them and you look at them, put their head down in shame. Some, they grin and bear it. They know what it is. They're coming for the money, and that's what it is. Anyway, let me drop the link to see if anybody wants to come on in and speak and say something. I did not sleep one way. I don't understand. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't sleep. Maybe I knew I was going to see something like this. If you want to come on in and say something on the topic, well, feel free. I'll wait a couple minutes. But because I got up and left and I didn't sleep last night, and I said, the last 2 days very overcast and misty and cloudy. The clouds were hovering right on us. I had put some clothes out to dry, and it took 2 days to dry because it was just so misty. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get out the house and come back. I came back at a reasonable hour. And I said, you know what? One side of me was going to go to bed. I said, no, I didn't do anything today. I'm not going to start that. Let's do something live. And let's kick this topic. This one fell right in my lap. Okay, did I put the link in? Yeah, I put it in. So give me another minute if you want to come on and talk. Talk. Let's talk. If not, we will, let me see. We'll put this up here too. All right. Old white men. The African woman's dream or escape. And I meant to say it that way too. I got a little shot. You can see it. And she wanted to get away from the public. She was ashamed, but she was holding it and she was looking around. But this is very common. And when you see some of the black men that are doing this and some of the white women, let me tell you something. Just like you said, Giant Gain, his arm around her was a sign of control. You should see how some of these black men are with these old, fat, cottage cheese. I mean, super pale. They're already pale. Look at him. Look at him. And these Ghanaian men, they're just kissing them and want to feed them with the fork and eat off the same fork and tongue them down and eat the food off the same fork. And so a white woman, yes, yes, I'm glad you're here, Giant Game. I'm glad you're here. Let me add you in. Okay, there you go. Can I show your face or are you okay like that? Which do you prefer?
Me?
Let me hear you. For some reason, I'm not hearing
Can
you.
you hear?
Yes,
Can
yes.
you hear me?
You want to show your beautiful face or you want to?
No, you don't have to show my face. I
Oh,
thought
okay, okay. Oh, well, you know how to
it
do
don't
that.
matter.
I'm looking at you.
No, It don't matter. My phone is messed up, so I can't see how to block my camera because it's a crack right there.
Okay,
But
no problem. Nobody else can see you but me, so you're
okay,
in safe
I
hands. I honor that.
I'm
Oh, cool,
I
sister.
just wanted to say, hey, hello, chat, how's everybody? I really wanted to say real quick. You mentioned
Hmm.
about not knowing what the situation is, and what caught my eye is they're looking at children's clothing,
Wait a
and that
second. I think we can see you. Let me. Okay, I'm sorry. The way it's set up, because you don't know how to block your camera. If I take your screen,
no,
okay, you know
I
what I'm
I
gonna do?
can't block it. No, I can't block it. I can't touch it where it's at because there's a crack right there,
Right,
so
right. If you
it
want, I
won't
could put a
receive.
big banner over everything to block, but you
No,
we already see you.
it's fine. I don't think I look
Okay,
that
okay.
ugly.
Oh no, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. The smile, shoot, lighten up every look. It's what time now? It's 1:21 in the morning. It's like 1:21 in the afternoon. With that smile, you done lit it all up.
But when you said that, and I'm looking at what they're looking at, that made me think, like, is she doing this because she has to feed children, or what the situation is? So when you said that you want to go on the road, I'm like, you know what? I'm checking couches, I'm checking my ashtray in my vehicle, so I could get some money. I could come down there and hold that camera, because my question would be,
Beautiful.
why are you doing this, sister? I want to ask that sister, why is she doing that? What
I
what
know.
what's drawing you to this? This is a real deep situation. Yeah, you
Yes.
have those that's doing it because they want the money and they know this is a fast way to get it. But it is a serious mental situation happening when this is the result of, I need to live. This is how I get by. Because my situation, and I won't state it, but even in that
Right.
situation, I can't see myself making that even an option. You know what I mean? That's not even a freaking
Right.
option. So
Right.
it's so deep seated, and I would love to understand why. Because without the understanding, we're never going to get past it. We're never going to grow beyond it. We're never going to get an answer to solving it without knowing the
Right.
why. We need to know the
That's
why.
right.
So
Yeah.
I just wanted to hop on and say that. And thank you for
I'm
having
so
this
glad to see you.
content. It needs to be talked about. It needs to stop being swept under the rug, and, oh, it is what it is, because this is a division that we can't come back from. Once as it's tainted as it has been, we can't come back from this, because we now don't have that full 100% bloodline to keep growing and to keep going.
Right. I'm glad to hear from you,
So
sister, in
thank
that
you.
perspective. Coming from a beautiful black woman that you are, very intelligent, and your perspectives are always on point, just like your comments. And we got to talk about the things that most of us are afraid to talk about. And again, from my
Yeah,
end, it's not hate. I'm not. I'm here. I love it. I feel at home. But things I see, just like when I was in America, I have to speak on it. But many will take insult to that. But that's why I had to be very careful and go in, like I always go in, with surgical precision.
you
Some people
and you
just
did
slap
it
them
with
on the.
you did it with total respect. Like, you know what? Because I would have wanted to turn around and show face, but you did it very
Oh, I could have
tastefully.
went in. I could have went in on a way like hurtful, just coming out swinging. You know what I mean? But I said, let me take my time, explain every part, so nobody, even though they're gonna feel it, they're gonna say, okay, he did say his disclaimers, but he did come hard. But I explained why. You know what I mean? You have to do it that way. But thank you so much, sister, for coming on in. And anybody else want to come on in? I'll drop the link again. I'm gonna keep this to under an hour so it can fit on different platforms. This is 54 minutes and 55 seconds. So if anybody wants to make a little comment in there, and Diane makes a comment here, I want to read. She says these, and Landon Price, I do see you. Forgot to shout you out, but I saw you when I was speaking my stuff. These men know that some of our women are desperate. That's why they go to Africa to exploit our people. Exactly. Exactly. They couldn't get away with that where they are, maybe on a super low, but they can come out and they got the app for it. You can get on that app from where you are and talk and saying, show me your body, show me what you look, show me this, show me that. They like that. And they come down here and it's very common. I didn't expect to see it in this particular mall. This mall is off the beaten path, you know, of where, because there's a lot of good malls here. And this is an all right mall, but there's a supermarket attached to it that I like, that I pick up things that they have it here that they don't have other places. A lot of American products also. But there's certain areas that I look, okay, like right now, even tomorrow night, I'm not going to go out tomorrow night. But tomorrow night, no. Saturday night. This is Thursday night. Well, this is Friday now for me. Saturday night, woo! You go on down around Old Sue around 7 o'clock, 7:30. All you can do is sit in one spot. You're gonna see it, and you're gonna see one old. You're gonna see one older. You're gonna feel like this. It can't get any worse. You might see somebody with a walker. I'm telling you, bent over. It's very common, and that's what it represents. And that's prostitutes are out there. They're out there in the street corner, just like back in the old day. And these women are not druggies. They're very healthy, shapely. How clean they are, that's not my concern. But they're out there. You see these other, and I got to throw it in there too. There's a lot of Indian men. They're not brazen to walk up to some of the prostitutes out there. They might get their hookups, but when they go near the prostitutes, I've observed them because I sat in a restaurant eating one day, and I said, "Let me see how this works." So they stand off into the doorway somewhere, and they call them over, or they say they're shy. They're very shy. So these women know what they're coming around for. It's funny to see how this jungle works. I'm not saying Africa's a jungle. The jungle of the streets, and that can be America, that could be UK, that could be here. That jungle, survival of the fittest. What are you hunting for? What are you open for? What are you looking for? You see what I mean? No, I understand Giant Game, but yeah, I love you too, sister. And I thought I had the screen cover, but I didn't. But beautiful as always. But I'm gonna sign off, and I'm gonna hit some sleep. I'll be in most of the day tomorrow. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna take a quick run out. I always say I'm gonna do like more than one thing, but I couldn't leave it flat, especially after this. Especially after this. But much love to you all, and thank you all for coming on in. I do feel I got everybody and acknowledge them, and just make sure, keep your eyes open. There's a lot of hidden agendas and secret motivations out here. Put this up so you can see it again before we go. That was a show today. It fell in my lap, and I could imagine what those two are doing right about now, but that's none of my business. And let's hope that people can wake up and move away from these things, because it doesn't have to be this way. Anyway, much love to you all. Take care. LANCESCURV out, and we'll deal tomorrow. Peace.